You've had outside interest past couple years. How hard was it for you to wait your turn and have this opportunity come now?
Cincinnati is a place I want to be and always aspire when I got into coaching to get back to. So those opportunities come, like Coach said, with the success of the program. And, you coach a guy like Desmond Ritter, it makes you look like you're a really good coach. And, at the end of the day, was it hard for me to wait my turn? No, I thought we had a great offensive staff. We worked really well together. We won a lot of games. And I think at the end of the day, that's why you get into it, is to help the kids and to win. And we were doing all those things, and I felt like I had input. And like Coach Fick said, when I first took the job here, there was a plan from day one. And I trusted him that he was going to follow through with that. And when the opportunity came, he did.
Considering your history, what you did at this school and what you did for this program, is this a dream to be able to lead this offense to the next level?
Just this whole season and this whole run we've been on, it's been, unbelievable. And, to see our team kind of take it to the next level, there's been steps in this program since I made the decision to come here in 2001. It seems like with each coaching staff, there's been progress and progress and progress. And to see the group of guys that we had graduate last year kind of take us to the top of the mountain, so to say, the whole ride has been unbelievable. And the opportunity to come back here and just be a position coach and to be able to coach the position I played at the place I played it has been an unbelievable experience. And now to take the next step and be the guy calling the plays is, absolutely.
Mike Cummings is coming in as the offensive line coach. You have a long history with him. Was he the guy? I know the way that your careers overlapped at Central Michigan, you were a grad assistant and then got your shot at running backs. Was he the guy that gave you the shot, and what's your backstory with him?
Coach Enos was actually the guy that gave me my shot, and Coach Enos was my quarterback coach here my senior year when Mark D'Antonio was the head coach, and he kind of brought me in. But Mike was the offensive coordinator for Central Michigan in 2010, and I was his GA. And Mike would always send me for dip runs and cuss me out when I bring back a can of Copenhagen that wasn't fresh enough. And but I learned a lot of football in those 2 years just from the collection of guys that we had on that staff. And Mike brings a certain demeanor when you guys get a chance to meet him, and I think our offensive line will exude that. He's a sharp coach, and Coach Fickle talked about the history he's had developing guys. And we were at the Senior Bowl yesterday. He had two guys that were participating in that game. He coached Eric Fisher when we were there, who was I think the last offensive lineman to be the first overall pick in the draft. But his guys will love him. They'll play hard. He's a really smart ball coach and really likable guy.
I'm gonna hit you with a two-parter.
Let's go.
Are you staying in the booth, and do you like the quarterback OC combination?
Yes, I plan to stay in the booth. Quarterback OC, just being the quarterback coach. When Coach Fickle originally made that move after the first season, and Coach Denbrock wanted me to go in the box, I was really hesitant just because I felt like, this is going to be my first year coaching the quarterbacks. I've got a redshirt freshman in there taking all the snaps. I want to be able to look that guy in the eye, sit on the bench with him, talk with him. If things were in an adverse situation, be able to, talk to him about it, look him in the eye, make sure he's ready to go. But to our credit, it's worked out. Me being in the booth the last 4 seasons, and I think Dez had a lot to do with that, just his maturity and our relationship. But I just also think it's a little bit easier just to collect your thoughts, get a plan together from up there. So I plan to stay up there. That could change, but right now that's the thought process.
One more follow-up on Coach Cummings. Cincinnati fans actually do have a recollection of him when he was at UConn, 2014 to 2016. And those are maybe the biggest offensive lines I've ever seen. They were all 6'8", 340 pounds. Is that a philosophy? I'm sure I'll ask him too, but is that a philosophy of his that
he likes big lower bodies? And I know that. I've heard that about a million times. Is him talking about guys' lower bodies, which, make what you want of that.
We've seen the same offense under Fickle with Denbrock. Now that you're the guy calling the plays, what offense what will this look like? Will it look any different? And also, have you had any conversations with Evan Prater taking that next step?
Our offense. So I was involved, when we first got here in 2017, it was kind of collaboration of ideas of kind of what this offense evolved into, and each year there's been an evolution based on our personnel. So I think you'll see some similarities in it. I'd like to play with a little bit more pace. I think we got to find some ways in the run game to continue to get the ball on the perimeter. I think our screen game, we need to call it more, but in order to feel confident about it and instill confidence in our players with it, we've got to practice it more, rep it more, and get better at executing it. But those are the things I think more so than wholesale changes. We're not going to all of a sudden become Josh Heupel and run wide splits and go tempo. I think we're built for what we do. We're going to rely on our offensive lines, particularly next year with all those guys back and running the football. Speaking to Evan Prater, it's going to be a great competition. You got Ben Bryant coming back. You got Evan Prater, the hometown kid here. I can't wait to see those two compete in the spring and the fall. They've done a good job up to this point. Those two know each other. Our quarterback room is a great room. I think those guys all respect how each other work and are going to compete. And then when it's all said and done in the fall, like understand, okay, this guy beat me out. I got to be ready to be the best at my role, whatever that is, and whichever way the cards fall. Those guys kind of know, like, I feel like a quarterback, like, this guy won the job, right? I competed my butt off. He competed his butt off. He got the nod. I got to be ready to go because I know at any time those other 10 guys could be looking at me in the huddle, and I'm the one that's going to be leading this team.
You mentioned Ben Bryant there past. You worked with him in the past before he transferred. Can you just elaborate on what's it like to have him back for his final season?
It was just a really unique situation, just the whole, he came into a situation where he was a year behind the guy who won the third most games in college football history as a quarterback. And I can't think of a worse situation for a guy to be stuck in. And Ben was talented. Our offensive coaches felt great about him, confident in him to execute the offense. I think the guys in the huddle felt the same way. And to Dez's credit, we would ask Dez to compete almost every spring with Ben for the job. Like, Dez was a starter and won 10 games as a redshirt freshman. Well, next spring, hey, it's an open job. You got to go compete for the job again. And the next spring, we won 10 or 11 more games. Hey, this spring, it's going to be an open job. You guys are going to split reps. We're going to see who the best quarterback is. And then I think finally after we went to the Peach Bowl and, it was like, all right, Ben, this isn't going to work out. but throughout the whole process, there was an open dialogue of communication, and this was before the portal was a thing, and you could graduate or transfer wherever you wanted. And our plan was for him to, like, all right, this is the situation you're in. Let's get you graduated in 3. You deserve to go play somewhere. You could start on a lot of teams around the country. If we're in this situation after year 3, I'll help you go wherever you want to go. And after that Peach Bowl, Dez was making a decision whether or not he was going to come back for his senior year. He was going to go early, so Ben was kind of stuck in limbo, like, all right, my transfer, am I staying? My transfer, I'm staying. When Dez made his decision to come back, Ben transferred. We helped him get to Eastern Michigan, which he chose over a lot of other schools that we're interested in. And obviously went there and had a great season last year. But Ben's heart was always in Cincinnati. These were where his teammates were. These were the class he came in with. His girlfriend's here. His dad grew up in Deerfield Township, I think. He didn't want to leave Cincinnati. It was just a situation that he had got stuck in, and he wanted to play football, which I don't think you can blame the kid.
Getting a couple big tight ends back, you bring in the Hawaii transfer Mardner at wide receiver. How important is it getting Wiley and Lenny back, and then what do you think Mardner could bring to you guys on the outside?
Yeah, Wiley and Lindley got to be a huge part of the offense, and I think we got to do a better job of personnel and some things with those two guys and playing to their strengths and not asking them things that are kind of outside of that. But I think our 12 personnel package last year, gave people some fits, and those guys' ability to run and catch the ball is obviously a matchup issue on defense. Nick Marner was really productive at Hawaii. Obviously, we have a lot of production. Alec Pierce is walking out the door. Which is why we thought we needed a guy into the boundary that could help us. And, Nick's 6'6", 200 pounds, and run and was really productive at Hawaii. And I can't wait for Coach Brown to get his hands on the kid, because I think Coach Brown's got a chance to really improve him, and I think he's got a chance to really help us on offense.
Couple more for Coach Guidugli.
You mentioned Coach Brown. You were really involved as passing game coordinator. He takes that title now. What will his involvement be with the offense? How will
Coach
it
Brown's a
change?
great coach, and I enjoy every day I get to work with him. Great mind, great teacher, and I think since he's came here, I think you've really seen an improvement in our receiving core. Not only the guys that we're bringing in and he's recruiting, but also those guys, once we get him here, him developing them into route runners and all-around players. His role won't change. He and I last year, for the most part, did most of the passing game, so his role will be very similar. He'll probably have some more scripting duties when it comes to practice and whatnot, but really respect Mike. I'm glad I get another season to coach with him.
Any other questions for Coach Guidugli? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Next up, we'll have